Oh, Furi, oh, Furies. Let's talk about Furi. It's a PlayStation 4 game. I don't know if it's also out on Steam. Actually, let's take a quick look, just to make sure. Yeah, Furi PlayStation 4 PC game. It is a third-person action boss rush game with, I believe, cel-shaded animation, which I'm not a fan of, and I got this game for free as a PlayStation Plus member. Normally it goes for about $25. I'm glad I didn't spend money on this, because I would be pissed about this. This game is about maybe 2 hours long. Maybe, if that. Because I got to the credit sequence an hour and a half into the game. And the next 30 minutes is a cutscene and then a decision to make. Okay, so I'm probably getting a little bit ahead of myself. What is the plot of this game? Well, that doesn't really become too much of a thing. You're a prisoner who is told that you are a mass murderer, a badass. We never really see the mass murder part, but we do kind of see the badass part from these boss rush scenes. Game starts off, you're getting the ever-living shit beat out of you by this jailer with these multiple masks.
You were a weapon, a bringer of death. And now, you're nothing. I will keep on killing you. Again and again. I am your future. An eternity of slow, painful deaths.
And he keeps talking about how he's going to keep killing you and keep on killing you. You'll never escape. You'll never get away. Well, a mysterious force comes in and lets you go. The first thing that made me really raise my eyebrows was this.
Shake your head. Nod your head. It's time to go. Pull yourself together. Get out of prison. Kill the jailer. Fight for your freedom.
This character that we never really get to know, really. And here's a thing I don't get about the game. Because all the game consists of is boss rush. There are nothing but boss fights in this game. There are no other enemies or anything like that. There's no platforming, there's no puzzle solving or anything like that. So you have these levels. And there's probably about 5 or 6 or so. And you have no real interaction with any of these levels whatsoever. You just walk through them, and then you get to a boss fight. You fight, defeat them, and then you proceed on to the doorway that will lead to the next level. Well, the funny thing is that as you walk through these levels, the game kind of has the tank control aspect where every time you walk to a new portion of the level, the camera changes. And because of that, if you stop moving, you then have to reorient yourself to keep moving forward. But if you don't want to do that, you can just press the X button or one of the L triggers, and the game will walk itself directly to your destination. And that, for me, for each level that I went through, I kept on asking myself, as I, realized more and more, this is, just a boss rush game, is all it is. And the game even touts itself as that. I couldn't help but wonder, what is even the point of all these other different levels or environments? Sure, they look nice and pretty, but you have no real interactivity with them. You don't really do anything in them. So what's the point other than to just be there? It's style over substance is what it is. And that's something I don't typically like in a game or in a movie. Unless it's done better. And it really wasn't for this. Another thing that really annoyed me is... Okay, so when I first played this, I played this on normal mode. And the first boss fight on normal mode is ridiculous. It's not really all that hard or anything, it's just long. Because you and your enemy both have this life meter, but you also have, I guess, lives, where every time that energy is taken down, they then lose a peg. And you have to go through this process, if you're playing it on normal, for a long time. I don't even know exactly how much their pegs are full on just normal mode, but it was probably like 5 or 6. But you have about the same. So, this one beginning boss fight just goes on. And on. And so did the second one. And at least each boss fight is always different than the last one. You're always having to use different tactics, or maybe there's some platforming, but you don't jump. You do have all these different abilities. You have, you have a long-range gun that also has a charge mode. You have an up-close sword that also has a charge mode. You have a parry move. You have a teleportation dodge, basically. So the game at least provides a lot of variety for what you have to do in a lot of these combat situations, but that's about it. And the combat's really not that difficult, it's just very tedious, is what it is. And so I get to the second boss fight, and I'm just getting my ass kicked. And I'm not enjoying myself at all. Hell, when I first played this game and got to that first boss, it just kept on feeling like it was going on and on and on, and so I turned off the game and deleted it and did not take a second look back. Well, this time I decided, let's give it a second chance and let's keep playing it. I mean, it was free, after all, at least. So, and this time I played from beginning to end, all in this one night. So I beat the second boss, and actually I lowered the difficulty when I continued. And thank God, because that actually makes the boss fights so much faster. It actually makes them pathetically easy, too, which is kind of sad. Because when I was playing on normal mode, it was just tedious, and it was just longer, because you repeat a lot of these same phases where you have to run around and dodge their lasers or their long-distance attacks, and then get in and attack them up close. And then you just have this up-close combat scene where either you have to parry a move of theirs and then attack, or dodge a move of theirs and then attack. And that's basically what you do, where it starts out long range and then moves immediately into close range. It's kind of the same pattern. Well, I defeat the second boss, and then I'm trying to go to the next level.
Together.
But the game won't let me. And I keep wondering, did I do something wrong? Did the game glitch out? It won't let me. I restarted my game, like, quite a few times. Not restarting from the very beginning, thank God. Just hit the restart, which took me back to the checkpoint after I beat the boss. Well, it would not let me continue. So, I tried to go back to the main menu. Game wouldn't let me. So, I completely exited the game. And then when I go back, I get a new piece of dialogue, and then I'm in the third level.
Just remember, she's messing with your head. Don't listen to her.
Now, I understand that I guess the creators of the game took some inspiration from the Metal Gear Solid series, where Metal Gear would sometimes like to play little mind games with you, but, you know, not to such a ridiculous extent. The most it really got with that was Psycho Mantis reading your mind, so everything you tried to do, you couldn't do on him, until you pulled out your controller and then moved it to the other port. Metal Gear never did anything where it made you have to turn off the game and turn it back on in order to continue. So, fuck you, game. That's not clever. That's just stupid. So, you go through the rest of these fights, and by the way, these characters have no real story to them. These characters don't even have a name to them, too. They do in the credits, but it's never introduced in the game, so I don't count it, so I don't care. They do have a brief story, but it kind of makes no sense. So, you go on from there to... You get all these other different guardians, is what they are established to be, is guardians, or like they're jailers, but I guess they're not, aside from that first guy who you fought, who actually was a jailer. He was an imposing threat, constantly saying how he's going to kill you and you're not going to escape. The third one is claimed to be an illusionist, or that she plays mind games with you, but she really doesn't. When she tells you to stay, you can just press the X button and your character will just move on to the next section.
Stay with me. Why are you leaving? What's not to like here? If you go any further, I have no other choice, and you even less than me. How dare you shun me and turn down all of this?
Because there's nothing for you to interact with, and what's especially tedious about this whole game is how you just slowly walk.
Initiating scan. Opponent armed. Graphene composite saber. Automatic laser handgun.
What would you do if you had an eternity to do nothing but wait? Do you keep busy? Do you daydream? Do you freak out? He trained.
All throughout these levels, and these levels are quite big. So, that gets really fucking boring. So, I'm just gonna cut to the chase here, because none of these other villains have really any character, or guardians, or whatever the hell, because I went through this whole game just not caring at all about what was going on, because the game kind of makes no effort to really explain much of what's going on. Until the last bit, where apparently you are an alien soldier Oh, and I like how after you escape this prison, you're on a planet. It's not Earth, at least it doesn't say it's Earth. You're just on a planet, and now when you press the X button, it does nothing. Now you can just walk around like normal, and you have full and complete control of the camera, and I'm wondering, oh, so is the game going to open up? Credit sequence! And everywhere you walk, everything dies and turns to stone. Symbolism. And then the game fades out, and I'm wondering, is that really it? An hour and a half, and that was it? No, if you stick around after the credits, the game continues. Well, now you can run, thank God. I'm not even sure where I'm supposed to be going. I just go to this one building, and sure enough, the game continues with a cutscene that you hop onto this vehicle that's a jetpack machine thing, takes you up to a spaceship in outer space, and refers to you as Royter, and gives you a choice. Assimilate the planet, or choose not to and attack the mothership. Well, I chose to assimilate because I didn't care what the hell was going on. And you get this brief cinematic of all these soldiers being awakened and fire dousing all over the planet, and the dude with the bunny hat and a little girl quivering in fear. Game over. Went back to my checkpoint because I can do that, and I chose the other option. The other option is you get another boss fight with this AI thing, and you apparently become the new guardian, and then the game ends.
That's the worst illusion. Believing you can have a lasting impact.
This game was stupid and not enjoyable. $25 and maybe 2 hours, and all it is boss fights. That's all it is. You know, Last Soul or whatever it was, which was also a boss fight game, I felt like that had a little bit more creativity to it, and wasn't overly pretentious with itself like this was. This just felt pretentious and kind of insulting too. The gameplay is okay. It feels a bit too clunky at times. The fact that characters will just repeat dialogue constantly at you is also annoying. All in all, I had no fun with this. And I did not enjoy it. And the whole time I was wondering, like, when is the game actually going to end? And sure enough, when it did, I thought, wow, well, this was short. At least I didn't pay for it. At least it was free. But, man, this was crap. This was really a stupid game. Well, those are my thoughts on Furi. Let me know what you think if you guys played it all the way through from beginning to end. This was just not a very interesting game. And this should be worth less than $25. But again, I got it for free. But garbage. See you next time. Take care of yourselves.